everyone. Raise your hand if you have used antibiotic any time in your life. As I thought, most of us. But do you know, WHO has predicted that by 2050, 10 million of people will die annually because of bacterial infection. 10 million. A population greater than a New York City, London, or also Israel will die annually just because of bacterial infection. Bacteria that is resistant to multiple antibiotics, bacteria that can kill millions of people every year, creating a next pandemic. So what are we doing to fight this? Sadly, very little. There has not been much progress in discovery of new class of antibiotic in last 30 years. It's sad that we are in the era of perfecting 3D printing of an organ, but not able to find a way to fight a bacteria. So let's find out why this resistance actually happens and how we can fight this. So before getting into the combat method, let's understand what antibiotics actually do. Antibiotics are like small poisons which enters the bacteria and kills the harmful bacteria. Let me simplify it more. Imagine bacteria being a fortified castle, and antibiotic is the enemy which has to enter the fortified castle and kill the bacteria. So every time when you use the antibiotic inappropriately and you do not finish the prescribed course of antibiotic, and antibiotic is unsuccessful in killing a bacteria, bacteria learns how to defend itself from the antibiotic and gains resistance. This is called as antimicrobial resistance. So when an antibiotic enters the bacteria, so it can target many machines. And one of the molecular machine which it targets, and it's his favorite, is ribosome. Ribosome is a cellular machine which is responsible for production of protein. We are from hair till our toe made of proteins. So it is responsible for production of protein in all living organisms and is present in every cell which exists. It consists of two subunits, large subunit and the small subunit. And as I told, antibiotics love ribosome. 40% of the clinically used antibiotics right now target ribosome, and they are present in all the species, but as each of us are different, some has long hair, some has short hair, blue eyes, gray eyes, even the ribosomes from each species are different. So we will target we will talk about species-specific features, special features of each ribosome. So this is just to give a context how small ribosome is and how deep we are going to go into. So to do this in our lab, so we look at the structure of ribosome at atomic level from different organisms. And one of the organisms which I'm going to talk about resides in our mouth. A human mouth consists of more than 600 identifiable bacteria at a time. Most of them are good, but some of them are really notorious. And one of the very notorious bacteria is Porphyromonas gingivalis. Porphyromonas gingivalis causes gingivitis, inflammation in the gums. And once, if it left untreated, it can enter into a bloodstream and cause systemic inflammation or even sepsis. So, what are we currently using against it? So the current class of antibiotics which are in use for Porphyromonas gingivalis are tetracyclines, macrolides, lincosamides, which targets the functional centers of the ribosome and kills the bacteria. Unfortunately, there are already clinical isolates which are resistant to this antibiotic. Hence, it becomes very important to find new methods to kill this bacteria. To do this, what we did was we got two strains of bacteria from our collaborators in Poland, one which is not resistant to any antibiotic, that is W83, and one which is resistant to macrolide class of antibiotic, that is delta-PON. So what we do when we get these cells? So we take these cells, we isolate pure ribosomes from these cells, and we subject it to cryo-EM. Once we have the movies from the cryo-EM, we train the software to pick the particles from these micrographs and give us 2D projections of the ribosomes. And once we have 2D projections, we reconstructed these 2D projections into a 3D model. After iterative refinements, we get a cryo-EM map. Cryo-EM map, imagine it to be a three-dimensional topographic map of the ribosome. Where we have to fit the structure of the ribosome, and that's what we do. We build the entire structure of the ribosome in this map. And then that's what we did with P. gingivalis. Here, the background, the mesh-like pattern is the map, and the orange atoms you see is each amino acid and nucleotide. And with this, we were able to build 92% of the ribosome. So what? We already have the structures of many ribosomes. What do we learn from this? We will learn how the resistance actually happens. Before targeting the enemy, we have to understand how did he learn to defend himself, what are his weapons. So that's what we will understand from this. And we have to distract him somehow for a while because we don't have much time. So we try to repurpose the antibiotics which are currently in use, and we will look for some special features of this ribosome. So let's see how he defends himself. So when we compared the macrolide binding pocket of non-resistant strain with the resistant strain of the bacterial ribosome, we are able to see it makes a modification which kicks out the antibiotic and doesn't let the antibiotic bind anymore. He has just no space for this antibiotic anymore. So this is how he gains resistance. So we understood what he has to defend himself, what weapon he has to defend himself. And now let's buy some time, let's distract him. So we were able to use another class of antibiotic that is which belongs to fluorometylene and which is currently in use against different pathogen, that is Staphylococcus aureus, and was FDA approved in 2019, which was able to kill the resistant strain of P. gingivalis. Now, after understanding this, buying some time, maybe few years, we were interested in looking what special features have. Does he have any extra extensions like curly hair, red hair, blue hair? That's what we saw. Even when we looked at the RNA over here in blue for gingivalis, he had certain extension of RNA. Even the protein had long extensions which can be used as a potential drug binding site. So to summarize, to give the take-home message I want to give from this is we were able to understand from the structure the resistance mechanism. We were able to repurpose the existing class of antibiotics which was already FDA approved to kill the resistant strain, which will buy us some time. And we were able to find the species-specific features which can be a drug binding site. More than that, the important take-home I want to give is stop misusing the antibiotics. Whenever it's not necessary, don't take it. And if you are taking it, please finish the course. And also floss your teeth daily. So with that, I would like to thank Professor Adayonath and Anath Bashan for all their guidance and my entire lab and the collaborators we worked with. Thank you.